go to sleep, the harder it gets to fall asleep. And once you give up of that idea of trying to force it to go into sleep, then that goes away. So in a way, uh, when that happens and you get aware of it, then you direct your mind to something else. Whatever interrupts that thought, whatever interrupts that behavior or anything that's happening in the moment, like maybe laugh, or maybe direct your mind and your thought in some other direction. That's what I'll say.
Am I showing up on both? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not showing up. There you go.
Hang on.
You're okay. I got you.
Well, I'm going to try to stay on my computer because it's better, but we'll see. We shall see.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Tarek, so your question is, how do you redirect your mind when you have a negative thought? Well, here's the thing. This is from my experience. What you resist persists, right? Same as emotions. What you try to convince yourself not to feel, what you try to convince yourself not to think, you're actually going to ruminate. And in fact, I want to say it's Abraham Hicks, but don't quote me. Once you have a thought for like 9 seconds, you're going to double the time you have that thought to then 18 seconds. And then it doubles and doubles and doubles, right? So the more you ruminate on that thought saying, so think about it like, oh, Kerri, your internet just went out. People are going to think you're bad because you're unprofessional, right? Like, I don't care, but I'm just saying that could be a thought you had, right? Now I'm like, oh, don't think about the fact that people might think you're unprofessional because that's not going to help you. That's actually still thinking about the thought, because now you're trying to tell yourself you can't, think about it. And so what I would encourage you to do, what Yanko said, I know he said, think about laughter or whatever. You want to redirect your mind. And so for me, the fastest way to do that is to do box breathing, or stick my hand in cold water, or you want to do something visceral that you have to focus on. Because if you're focusing on your inhales and your exhales, you can't actually think about the thought you're trying to avoid thinking about, right? So that's a practice for me. And then if that doesn't work, interestingly enough, it kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, is moving my body. Like if I feel like I'm stuck, if I'm ruminating on something, I'm a mother of 2 daughters. And if we have like a tough encounter, I'll put on a song and I'll just start moving my body, because kind of just letting that experience go through movement and music helps me kind of not keep spinning into that thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think he had a follow-up question